Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. My congratulations to Realty Plus team for completing 20 years. I've been with Realty Plus for 20 years in my journey as well, and many of our colleagues who are here and who are always listening and taking insights from Realty Plus. We've been talking about the brand. What is brand? Brand is about vision, values, and action. What I've learned while working for Tata as a group is the humility, which I think Gaurav also in his discussion brought it up on several occasions. Tata Group is a $350 billion market cap group today. It is the only brand in the world from India in the top hundreds, which represents India. So really, the brand holds, and I think last year the brand value went up by 10%. So just the logo, the T, is valued at $30 billion. Yeah? And the reason it is so is, you don't build brands first. You actually have a purpose first. You have a cause. Then you have a philosophy and a strategy. And then, of course, vision, values follow. And then the brand gets built. Brand is basically a reflection of yourself in the mirror. And brand is applicable to the organizations, to the individuals, as much as. So Gaurav is a brand in its own right, as much as Godrej. So, that's how I'm trying to relate the two. Because organizations create culture and a reflection of their character. And when they bring these wonderful people on board to carry that legacy forward, and then, like we summed up earlier in our discussion, you build a culture around that brand, which preserves the values of the brand. And then you see, with all the humility, brand is not the final destination. Brand with humility is how do we take this further? It doesn't end there. Because if it ends, then you're not relevant to the economy, to the world, to the sector. Tata Housing is a 40-year-old organization. Tata Realty Infrastructure is a younger organization. As a merged entity, we have delivered about 40 million square feet in the country in 17 cities. We have 33 million square feet under construction. We have approximately 13 is residential and 20 about commercial. And then we also have an infrastructure group where we have roadways, metro, and tolls, roadways. So it's a very diversified real estate infrastructure group. We've been able to cast a vision where we have thought of ourselves as an organization 360 degree. Normally, when you build a brand, you think about the customer. And many organizations you must have seen, they say customer centricity, that we are a customer-centric organization. The focus is on customer. At Tata, we do things differently. Like I said, the 360 degree. It starts with the employees. If the employees are taken care of, and if they are taught, and if they are given an environment in which they excel, and if you give them the education and the training to perform and grow their personal careers, and along with it, the growth of the organization. And, I'm referring to Tata as a group creating Tata Business Excellence School, where we bring the best of talent from around the country and we put them into the Excellence Center, where they are further groomed and they are then absorbed in various businesses across various sectors. And that's how we take the trajectory of leadership across so many sectors that we have in the group. So that is really one step. Then we look at who are the other stakeholders for us. So government is a big stakeholder in real estate sector. They have the jurisdiction on the land, and the jurisdiction on the state, and the real estate is the underlying asset on which they control. How can we play a role in advocating reforms and policies? How can we be a good corporate citizen by being more compliant, more ethical, even though sometimes being ethical is a challenge in our sector, which I don't need to elaborate. How do we ensure that we follow a very high governance and ethics, and therefore contribute to the government? And we also contribute through CSR and many such other initiatives. Then we talk about our vendors. They're our strategic partners in making sure that our performance and delivery is actually taken care of. And trust me, you ask any developer, the only thing they will tell you today is all about execution. You can do whatever you want to do, but if you're not executing right and if you're not delivering on time, it serves no purpose. So then you cover this, and then you come to eventually the customer, the end customer that we are talking about. We took a decision that all our homes will be senior living. We have parents at homes. How can we ensure that we have them as part of the society and not put them into some senior homes outside of the society? So that's a very different thought. We felt, how do we take care of the wellness aspect of the people? And wellness means indoor air quality. It also means mental health, which now we are very familiar with. All our properties are sustainable, but more importantly, also well certified, which means that we take certain investments where the wellness of the person and individual is taken care of. We allocate spaces and amenities with the purpose of wellness. So that's customer thought process. We came out with strategies which ensure that help customer not only buy a good asset, which is a long-term investment that they make, but how that asset over a period of 30, 40 years will perform. Can we make a contribution by deliberating on the design of the property or the execution of the infrastructure of the property, where we actually control the maintenance cost? So if you're paying, let's say 8 rupees per square feet, and if I can bring that down to 6 rupees, by making sure that there are less security guards and there is district cooling system instead of conventional cooling system, which can give you ratings on the sustainability and green, how over a period of time we can bring savings? How can we create a rental income in our projects which further gives rent to the residents and not take money for the maintenance from them as an asset? So there are ideas which are beyond the mandate that we think from the customer's point of view. We took a decision that we will have intensive care unit operated 24/7 and a resident doctor living in the society. And if there is a cardiac arrest or any sensitive or unforeseen accident, how can we stabilize the health of that person, whether elderly or young, and make sure that we save that life and then transition to the hospital? So thought process is very different. And why do we do this? Because we're always thinking, what would it take to ensure the safety of the customer and the safety of every stakeholder in the whole ecosystem? So obviously, all of this is beyond profit. And this goes with the ethos of the group, which was seeded 150 years ago, that we will give back to the society and we will do, dividends will be distributed through CSR and various initiatives, whether it's education, whether it's medical, which is Cancer Medical Hospital, or now even Hospital for Dogs in the Bombay market, or other such things. So it's incredible. It's a great story. So this has led to what I said, a $30 billion value of a brand. It is not just a sharp business focus, but it's the outcome of the business and a larger contribution to society. So I would say this, I will spend a few minutes in creating your personal brand. And I tell you, this is very important. and it must matter to you. Because whether you are a student at the school, how the teachers see you, how the other in the class see you, it starts from those short-term memories in the schools if you go back when you were young, and how you graduate, and how when you take your first job and then you compare yourself with your other peers who also picked up some management schools and what salary and what designation we all compare, right? That's the initial stages of creating your personal identity and brand. How do you really build a solid brand? If you were to genuinely just focus in the initial leg of your 10 years of journey on just building competency, skill, and experience, is I call it brand building. It has nothing to do with your individual achievements and accomplishments and trophies on the shelf in your room. This is the key in the first 10 years. What follows in the next 10 years is building your personal credibility in the market. You know, we all have opinion about politics, and we have an opinion about how the world works, but do you do that and apply that to yourself? Look inside yourself, and I think you know the answer because nobody knows better than you. We've all had those short-term temptations. We've been seduced in life on numerous occasions where you have compromised your personal integrity or goal or taken a shortcut. That's not building a brand. Building a personal brand is when you don't talk about yourself. The world talks about you. Okay, that's building your brand. When you say something, people look at you that is what you meant, that is what you implied, and that is how it will be. When you say something, but you don't mean it, it's not what you implied, maybe you were cynical, that's not your personal credibility and brand. Brand also means humility. Many of these professionals I've come across are very accomplished professionals, and this country has given us so many opportunities to all of us that at some stage we all are achievers in our life, right? So, because we've seen, there was a time in 80s when there were no jobs. Today we have plenty of jobs, and we all have all the aspirations that we once thought we will achieve, we have it. So you already reach a certain stage of success, but it's also very short term, because that's not really building a brand. The building a brand is when you actually serve a larger purpose as an individual. Somebody asked me, what is leadership, which we were discussing earlier. At a certain stage of your life, leadership is not about you. Leadership is making sure that every part and every member of your organization succeeds. That is leadership. The CEO of a company has to make sure that every individual in the company, if they are not succeeding in life, then the CEO fails. They are not accomplished. They have not served the larger purpose. That's the stage when you accomplish in life that you think you have attained your personal identity and brand. So when you put your ask on the table, when you go into a group, when you speak in a group, when you have a dialogue where people take you literally the way you said it, and they believe in you completely. So with that, I will end my note. We can continue on this time or on this subject whenever you ask. Appreciate the opportunity, and there's much more to share. Thank you for the evening.